The message came on a Tuesday. It rippled through every radio telescope on Earth at the same time. Scientists stared at their screens in shock. After centuries of searching the stars, humanity finally had its answer. We were not alone. The alien signal contained instructions for building a special communication device. Within 3 months, the best minds on Earth completed it. When they turned it on, a 3-dimensional image appeared. The alien had blue skin, 4 eyes, and spoke perfect English. People of Earth, I am Ambassador Zortak of the Galactic Concord. We have watched your development with great interest. You are now invited to join our peaceful coalition of species. News of first contact spread across the globe. People celebrated in the streets. Religious leaders debated what it meant. Politicians argued about how to respond. President Samatharai called an emergency meeting. We need representatives to meet with these aliens, someone from our military and someone from our scientific community. Commander Alex Winters sat straight in his chair when they told him he'd been selected. A decorated Navy officer with experience in diplomacy, Alex had dark eyes that missed nothing and a serious face that rarely smiled. Your job is to assess any potential threats, the president told him. But remember, this is a peaceful mission. Dr. Olivia Rice would be going with him. A brilliant linguist and xenobiologist, she had spent her career preparing for this moment. With her warm smile and patient manner, she seemed the perfect balance to Alex's caution. This is humanity's greatest moment, she told Alex when they met. Try not to ruin it with military paranoia. 1 week later, they'd boarded the alien shuttle that landed in the middle of New York's Central Park. It rose silently into space, where a massive ship waited. Inside, aliens of different shapes and colors moved around strange technology that seemed to defy physics. Ambassador Zortak welcomed them. The Concorde has one simple condition for Earth's membership: complete demilitarization. Peaceful species have no need for weapons. Olivia nodded eagerly. Earth has dreamed of global peace for generations. But Alex noticed something in the alien's 4 eyes, a look he recognized from his military days. It was the look of someone who thought they were superior. During the official tour, Alex slipped a small recording device into his pocket. While Olivia attended a scientific demonstration, he found himself alone with Zortak and 2 other aliens in a corridor. The humans are even more primitive than we expected, one alien said in a clicking language they didn't know Alex's device could translate. Zortak made a sound like laughter. They are adorably naive. They'll make excellent servants once they surrender their weapons. Humans are physically weak but quite numerous. The labor markets across the Concorde will value them highly. And if they refuse to disarm, asked the 3rd alien, then we introduce them to real weapons, Zortak said. Their entire military could not stop even one of our smaller vessels. But waste of resources through resistance is inefficient. They'll choose service over extinction, as all sensible species do. Later, Alex played the recording for Olivia in their private quarters. She frowned. You must have misunderstood. The translation could be wrong. I know a threat when I hear one, Alex said. They see us as animals to be tamed. That's impossible. Their technology is centuries beyond ours. Why would advanced beings need to conquer? For the same reason empires have always conquered: resources, labor, power. Alex looked out the window at Earth, blue and vulnerable below them. They think we're helpless. Olivia ran the translation through her own algorithms. Her face paled as she read the results. We need to warn Earth, she whispered. Alex nodded. But first, we need to learn everything we can about their technology. They think we're primitive. Maybe that's an advantage they don't see yet. As they prepared for the next day's diplomatic meetings, both humans felt the weight of their discovery. The stars weren't filled with friends. They were filled with predators. And Earth had just caught their attention. 6 months after first contact, the true face of the Galactic Concorde revealed itself. A massive ship appeared in Earth's orbit, 10 times larger than their first vessel. Ambassador Zortak's message played on every screen across the planet. People of Earth, you have been given time to consider our generous offer. The Concord requires your complete disarmament within 1 year. All military bases must be dismantled. All weapons destroyed. All soldiers disbanded. This is not a request. The final words were clear. Resist and face pacification. In the White House Situation Room, President Samantha Wright looked at the grim faces around her. Alex and Olivia had returned from their mission with recordings that exposed the Concord's true plans. Earth wasn't being invited to join a peaceful coalition. It was being conquered. They expect us to surrender, the president said. In public, we will appear to comply. But in secret, we fight. She signed a paper that authorized Project Phoenix, a hidden military initiative across the globe. General Richard Blackwell would lead it. We need time, Richard said. Their technology is advanced. We need to understand it to have any chance. At a secret base beneath the Rocky Mountains, scientists Kate Murphy and Dr. Alan Benson worked day and night. They had small pieces of alien technology collected by Alex during the diplomatic mission. Kate, with her brilliant mind for physics, noticed something odd. Their quantum systems work differently than ours. She told Alan one night, her eyes red from lack of sleep. They rely on a specific frequency pattern we don't use. Alan, who had been studying the alien power systems, looked up with sudden interest. Show me. Around the world, nations publicly dismantled their military bases. Soldiers returned home. Ships were docked. Planes grounded. News cameras filmed it all, broadcasting compliance to the watching alien ships. But deep underground, in abandoned mines, beneath the ocean, and in hidden mountain bases, humanity prepared. New weapons were built. Soldiers trained in secret. Ships constructed in massive underground facilities. General Richard met with President Wright monthly. The aliens are watching our major sites, he explained, but we've started moving equipment to the far side of the moon. They don't monitor it as closely. President Wright nodded. And Project Phoenix. Kate and Alan made a breakthrough. The aliens use quantum technology that has a weakness. They never expected us to approach quantum physics the way we did. Their systems have a blind spot. 6 more months passed. Concord ships made regular visits to Earth, inspecting the disarmament process. Zortak seemed pleased with human compliance. Your species shows wisdom, he told President Wright during an official meeting. Many resist at first. It only leads to unnecessary suffering. Humans value peace, she replied, her face showing nothing of her true thoughts. That night, she met with Alex, Olivia, Kate, and Alan in a secure room deep beneath the White House. We've developed devices that can disrupt their quantum systems, Kate explained. It won't destroy their ships, but it will blind them temporarily. And we've hidden these devices across key locations, the president asked. Yes, Alex confirmed. We also have 20 ships ready on the far side of the moon. They're crude compared to alien technology, but they'll fly. Olivia, who had been studying alien communications, added, the Concord doesn't just think we're weak. They think we're stupid. Their security is focused on advanced attacks. They don't guard against simple ones. Helen spread out diagrams on the table. We've also adapted some of their technology. Not weapons yet, but defensive shields and communication systems. The deadline is in 2 months, President Wright said. Will we be ready? Alex looked at the others before answering. No, we need more time, but we're more ready than they think we are. Outside, Concord ships patrolled Earth's skies, their crews confident in their absolute superiority. Below them, humans worked in silence, preparing for war. The aliens believed Earth was surrendering. They were wrong. The deadline came. Earth had shown all signs of compliance, but the Concord was not satisfied. Their sensors detected unusual activity in remote areas. They suspected deception. Begin limited pacification, Admiral Vexmore ordered from the command ship, "Show them the cost of dishonesty." The first attacks targeted military satellites that Earth had failed to remove. They exploded in silence, raining debris into the atmosphere. Next came precision strikes on hidden facilities the aliens had discovered. A base in the Siberian wilderness vanished in fire. An underwater structure in the Pacific collapsed. A mountain in Colorado crumbled, revealing the base inside. Thousands died in these first attacks. Millions watched the sky in terror as alien ships moved into position over major cities. "This is what resistance brings," Zortak's message played worldwide. "Complete your disarmament or face more severe measures." In an underground bunker, President Wright called an emergency meeting. "They found some of our sites," General Richards said, "but not all, not even most. It's time," the president decided. "Activate Defense Plan Alpha." Commander Ben Shaw received the orders in his hidden base. He led a squadron of jets that had been painted to look like civilian aircraft. These were old fighters, kept as decoys. "This is suicide," his co-pilot said as they prepared to launch. Ben nodded. "That's what they're supposed to think." 40 jets rose from hidden runways across the globe. They attacked the alien vessels with outdated missiles and guns. The Concorde ships easily destroyed them, their advanced weapons cutting through Earth's plains like paper. Admiral Vexmore watched the pathetic display with four-eyed contempt. Is this truly their resistance? Primitive aircraft. His lieutenant made a sound of agreement. Humans are even weaker than our reports suggested. On the far side of the moon, Colonel Lisa Daniels received the signal. The jets had served their purpose. They had focused all alien attention on Earth's atmosphere. "Activate the disruptors," she ordered. Beneath the lunar surface, a massive device powered up. Kate and Alan's creation sent invisible waves across space. The quantum frequency they had discovered rippled toward the alien fleet. On the Concorde ships, alarms blared. Screens went dark. Navigation systems crashed. Weapons lost their targeting ability. "What is happening?" Admiral Vexmore demanded as his ship's lights flickered. "Unknown disruption in our quantum field," an officer replied. "All systems failing." Similar devices activated in hidden locations across Earth and in orbit. The entire alien fleet suddenly found themselves blind and vulnerable. Back in the lunar base, Colonel Lisa gave her next order. "Launch the fleet." Hidden doors opened across the lunar surface. 20 ships emerged from concealment. They were human-built vessels using a combination of Earth technology and reverse-engineered alien systems. They were crewed by Concorde standards but fully operational. Captain Frank Ortiz commanded the lead ship, named Defiance. He had practiced this moment in simulation hundreds of times. "Target their command vessels," he ordered his crew. "Avoid their weapons even if they seem disabled. Remember your training." Earth's hidden fleet accelerated toward the confused alien armada. Their weapons were simple but effective, conventional missiles upgraded with alien tech. They struck the first Concorde ships before the aliens even realized they were under attack. On Earth, Major Heather Collins led Special Forces teams in small, fast shuttles. While the aliens struggled with malfunctioning systems, her teams boarded 5 of their vessels. "Take prisoners when possible," she told her soldiers, "and download everything from their computers." Admiral Vexmore watched in disbelief as human ships attacked his fleet. His technology, the pride of the Concorde, had been neutralized by a supposedly primitive species. For the first time in his long life, he felt fear. "Retreat," he ordered. "All ships withdraw immediately." The Concorde fleet struggled to escape Earth's orbit. Several ships crashed into each other in the confusion. Others were captured by Earth forces. By the time they managed to create a warp field, nearly a third of their invasion force had been destroyed or captured. As they fled, Admiral Vexmore sent an emergency signal to the Concorde Council. "Humans not as helpless as reported. Request immediate reinforcements. Warning, they can disrupt our systems. On Earth and the Moon." Humans celebrated their first victory, but everyone knew the truth. This was just the beginning. News of Earth's victory spread across the galaxy faster than the Concorde could control it. Other species watched with growing interest. A primitive world had fought back against the mighty Concorde and won. Captain Frank Ortiz stood on the bridge of the Defiance, looking at the captured alien vessels now docked at the lunar base. Earth had taken 7 ships intact and recovered parts from 12 others that had been destroyed. Scientists and engineers crawled over them like ants, learning everything they could. "We struck a blow," Frank said to his second-in-command. "But they'll be back with more ships." On Earth, Major Heather Collins interrogated alien prisoners. Most refused to speak, but a few were willing to share information. One, a young technician named Krell, seemed almost relieved to be captured. "The Concorde lies to everyone," Krell told her. "They claim to be peaceful, but they conquer and enslave. 27 species serve them now. Some fought back. None won. Until now," Heather said. Krell's 4 eyes blinked in agreement. "That is why I speak to you. Something is changing." In the main research center beneath Denver, Kate and Alan worked with the alien technology. The quantum disruptors had worked better than expected, but they had limitations. The effect only lasts about 30 minutes. Kate explained to President Wright during her visit. "They'll develop countermeasures." "Then we need something new," the president replied. "How long until we can build more ships?" Alan brought up a holographic display. "With what we've learned from their vessels, we can build 50 more in 2 months. They won't be as advanced as Concorde ships, but they'll fly and fight." "We don't have 2 months," General Richard said. "Our intelligence suggests they're gathering a fleet. Hundreds of ships." Back on the captured command vessel, Dr. Olivia Rise made a discovery while studying alien communications. They talked to each other across vast distances, she told Alex, who now commanded Earth's defense forces. "Their network connects the entire galaxy, and we can access it." Alex immediately understood the importance. "Can we send messages? Can we listen to theirs?" "Both," Olivia confirmed, "and they don't know we can." Within days, human technicians tapped into the Concorde network. They listened as the alien leaders planned their revenge on Earth. The Concorde Council had voted to make an example of humanity. Their next attack would not be a limited exercise. It would be extermination. But Earth also heard something else. Whispers from other subjugated species. Their messages were hidden, buried in normal communications, but they were there. Questions about the humans, hopes that Earth might succeed where they had failed. President Wright called an emergency meeting of all world leaders. For the first time in human history, every nation stood united against an external threat. "We have one advantage," she told them. "They underestimated us once. They'll be more careful now, but they still see us as primitive." Around the solar system, humans worked frantically to prepare. The moon base expanded. Mars, previously home to only a small research outpost, became a military installation. The asteroid belt, rich in metals, turned into a shipyard. On the Defiance, now upgraded with alien technology, Captain Frank received new orders. He would lead a small fleet to one of Jupiter's moons, where sensors had detected unusual activity. What they found shocked them all. A small group of alien ships, but not Concorde vessels. These belonged to another species, the Elorians, one of the first races conquered by the Concorde. "We monitored your battle," their commander said when communications were established. "We have come to offer alliance." Frank reported back to Earth immediately. President Wright met with her advisors to discuss this development. "Can we trust them?" General Richard asked. Alex studied the reports. "They brought only 5 ships. If they wanted to attack, they would have brought more. I think they're genuine." "Then welcome them," the president decided. "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." As Earth prepared for the coming assault, humanity realized a profound truth. They were not alone in their resistance. Throughout the galaxy, others watched and waited, ready to join their fight against the Concorde. The universe had thought Earth helpless. Now they watched in growing amazement as the humans not only fought back, but began to build alliances. The game was changing, and for the first time in millennia, the Concord felt uncertainty. The Concord Council met in emergency session. Representatives from 17 dominant species gathered in a vast chamber on their capital world. The topic was Earth. "This primitive planet has caused more trouble than any world in 500 years, said Krasdol, leader of the warlike Drazkar. "We should destroy them completely." Others nodded in agreement, but the Elorian representative spoke up. "We should consider negotiation. These humans defeated our fleet using cleverness, not superior firepower. Negotiation is weakness," Krasdol growled. The human victory was luck. Nothing more. In the shadows of the council chamber, hidden recording devices captured every word. Human intelligence officers listened through the alien network Olivia had cracked. Every threat, every plan, Earth now heard. Meanwhile, diplomat Jake Miller met with the Elorian delegation on Europa, Jupiter's ice-covered moon. The aliens had set up a small base there before contacting Earth. "Our people were among the first the Concord conquered," explained Renlo, the Elorian leader. "For centuries we have served them, waiting for a chance to break free." Jake nodded. "Why reach out to us? We're just one planet." Renlo's large eyes blinked slowly. "Because you did what no one else has done. You found their weakness, and you fought back." The Elorians shared valuable information about Concord fleet movements and military bases. Earth now had allies, and with them came hope. Back on Earth, Dr. Nicole Foster led a team developing new defenses. Using knowledge from the captured ships and Elorian insights, they created a shield system. "The quantum disruption technology works both ways," she explained to General Richard during a demonstration. "It can jumble their systems, but it can also create a barrier their weapons can't penetrate." The first shield generators were massive, requiring enormous power. They could only protect small areas, but it was a start. Throughout the solar system, humans expanded their presence. Mars became home to underground bases and weapon factories. The moons of Jupiter and Saturn housed early warning systems. In the asteroid belt, construction ships built new vessels day and night. Captain Frank Ortiz, now Admiral of Earth's growing fleet, supervised training exercises near Neptune. Human pilots learned alongside Elorian teachers, mastering space combat tactics against superior enemies. "Don't try to match their firepower," an Elorian instructor told the pilots. "Use your smaller size. Be unpredictable." The Concord trains its soldiers to follow patterns. They don't adapt well to chaos. Word of Earth's resistance spread through hidden channels across the galaxy. 3 more species made secret contact, offering information and limited support. The Vexari provided advanced medical knowledge. The Trell shared weapon designs. The Novan offered skilled pilots to train humans. Meanwhile, the Concord gathered its forces. Over 500 warships assembled at their forward base. Their new commander, Grand Admiral Zexkor, vowed to crush the human resistance and punish any who aided them. The first attack was poorly planned, he told his officers. "This time, we will overwhelm them with numbers. No clever trick can stop such force." President Wright received reports of the gathering fleet. Earth had only 70 ships ready for battle, even with their allies. The odds seemed impossible. In a private meeting with her closest advisors, she asked the question everyone feared. "Can we win this fight?" Alex looked at the battle projections. "Not directly. We can't match their numbers." "Then we don't fight directly," said Olivia. "We use what they don't expect." She revealed her plan. Using the Concord's own communication network, Earth would broadcast evidence of their lies and cruelty to every species in the galaxy. At the same time, they would target the Concord leadership rather than their fleet. "Cut off the head," General Richard said with approval, while turning their own subjects against them. As the massive Concord armada prepared to launch, humanity readied its response. The shield generators powered up around key cities. The fleet moved into defensive positions. and in secret bunkers, communication specialists prepared to hijack the galactic network. The universe was about to learn a harsh lesson. Humans fight hardest when their backs are against the wall. 1 year after the failed invasion, the Concorde returned. Their massive armada darkened space as it approached the solar system. Over 500 warships, each carrying enough firepower to level a city. Grand Admiral Zexkor stood on the bridge of his flagship, confidence radiating from his 4 eyes. The humans have had time to prepare, but it will not matter. Today we end their resistance. The Armada passed Neptune, then Uranus. They expected to find Earth's meager fleet waiting near Mars or the Moon. Instead, they found nothing. Where are they hiding? Zexkor demanded. His answer came in the form of sudden attacks from all directions. Human vessels appeared from behind moons, from within Saturn's rings, from camouflaged positions in the asteroid belt. They struck fast, disabled Concorde ships with precise hits, then vanished again. Admiral Diana Carter commanded Earth's defense from her ship Vengeance. A former submarine captain, she applied deep-sea tactics to space warfare. Never present a target, she told her captains. Strike from hiding, then disappear. The Concorde Armada pushed toward Earth despite these attacks. They lost 30 ships in the outer system, but hundreds more continued forward. They reached Mars, expecting resistance. Again, they found nothing. They've retreated to defend their homeworld, Zexkor concluded, as all species do in the end. The Concorde fleet approached Earth, weapons ready to devastate the planet. Then, as they entered lunar orbit, everything changed. Hidden generators on the Moon's surface activated. Quantum disruption fields washed over the Concorde ships, stronger than before. Systems failed across half the fleet. At the same moment, Earth's vessels emerged from concealment on the far side of the Moon, joined by ships from their alien allies. All vessels, attack pattern Omega. Admiral Diana ordered, focus on their command ships. The battle raged across Earth orbit. Human ships darted between larger Concorde vessels, exploiting their blind spots. The quantum shields Dr. Nickel had developed absorbed enemy fire that would have destroyed them otherwise. Zexkor watched in growing rage as his carefully planned assault fell into chaos. Deploy the planet killers, he ordered. 3 massive vessels moved into position around Earth. These specialized ships carried weapons designed to crack a planet's crust, rendering it uninhabitable. As they charged their main cannons, Earth seemed doomed. Pilot Steve Rodriguez led a desperate mission to stop them. He commanded a small squad of fighters, modified with Elorian stealth technology. We only get one shot at this, he told his team. Target their power cores. The human fighters slipped past the Concorde defenders, invisible to their sensors. They reached the first planet killer just as it prepared to fire. Steve's missiles struck precisely where the Elorians had indicated a weakness would be. The massive ship erupted in blue fire, its destructive energy turning inward. The second planet killer fell to another team. But as Steve approached the third, his ship was hit. Systems failing, he made an impossible decision. He aimed his damaged vessel directly at the planet killer's main cannon. For Earth, he said simply, then accelerated. The impact triggered a chain reaction. The third planet killer exploded spectacularly. The battle paused momentarily as all sides witnessed the sacrifice. But Steve didn't die. The explosion threw his cockpit clear. Concorde forces recovered him, bringing the unconscious pilot to Zexkor. When Steve woke, he found himself surrounded by alien leaders, including Krasdul of the Drazkar. Why do you continue to fight? Krasdul demanded. You cannot win. You should surrender like all others. Steve, injured but defiant, looked the alien in the eyes. Humans don't work that way. We evolved as persistence hunters. We never stop, no matter the odds. Foolish pride, Zexkor sneered. Your species will be extinct before this day ends. Steve smiled through his pain. Maybe. But there's something you don't understand about humans. We don't fear death like you do. We fear failing those who count on us." Unknown to the Concord leaders, their conversation was being broadcast across all frequencies. Tech specialist Jason Hughes had hacked their communications from Earth. Every species in the Concord heard the humans' words. "Even if you kill us all," Steve continued, "others will remember that we stood against you. And someday someone else will finish what we started." Across the galaxy, subjugated species listened. And in that moment, something changed. Fear began to give way to hope. Steve's words echoed across the galaxy. As he spoke of human persistence, something unexpected happened. Ships from the Concord fleet began to power down their weapons. First a few, then dozens, then hundreds. "What is happening?" Zexcor demanded. His lieutenant looked up from the communication panel in shock. "The subject species. They're refusing orders. The crews are standing down." The rebellion spread like wildfire. On thousands of planets, those who had served the Concord for generations rose up. The broadcast of Steve's defiance, combined with evidence of Concord lies that Earth had been spreading through the network, ignited long-buried hopes. In Earth orbit, the battle shifted dramatically. More than half the Concord fleet ceased fighting. Some turned their weapons on Zexcor's loyalists. The mighty empire that had ruled for millennia began to crumble in a single day. On the flagship, Krasdul of the Drazkar realized the danger. His species had been the Concord's enforcers for centuries. If the empire fell, they would face the vengeance of countless worlds. "Kill the human," he ordered, drawing his weapon. But Steve had been ready. Despite his injuries, he lunged at the alien, knocking the weapon aside. Alarms blared throughout the flagship. A boarding party had arrived, led by Major Heather Collins. Her team had used the chaos of battle to infiltrate the Concord command vessel. "Room clear," she shouted as her soldiers secured the bridge. "Admiral Zexcor and the Drazkar leader are in custody." Steve looked up with a pained smile. "Took you long enough." The news spread quickly. The Concord leadership had fallen. After centuries of oppression, the galaxy was changing. 3 months later, President Wright stood before the newly formed Galactic Assembly on a neutral space station. Representatives from 47 species attended, including many former Concord members. "Earth did not fight for conquest," she told the gathered delegates. "We fought because we had no choice. Now we all have a choice about what comes next." Her proposal was simple: a new alliance based on mutual respect and cooperation rather than domination. Each species would govern itself, with the Assembly handling disputes and joint projects. The Elorians were the first to join, followed quickly by others. Even some former Concord ruling species accepted the new reality, seeing the benefits of peace over endless rebellion. But not all embraced change. The Drazkar, facing trials for war crimes, launched one final desperate attack. Their remaining fleet bypassed Earth's outer defenses, heading straight for civilian populations. They expected to find vulnerable cities. Instead, they encountered something impossible. A shimmering blue dome covered the entire planet. The planetary shield, designed by Kate and Alan, now married, had been completed just days earlier. It was powered by 100 massive generators spread across the globe. The Drazkar ships crashed against it like waves against stone. Not one broke through. Their final attack ended not with Earth's destruction, but with their own. Admiral Alex Winters stood on the bridge of humanity's newest vessel, the Unity. Built with technology from a dozen worlds, it was the first of its kind, designed for exploration rather than war. "Course set for the Galactic Rim," his navigation officer reported. "We'll be the first to venture beyond known space." Alex nodded. Just 3 years ago, humanity had been alone, facing extinction. Now they stood as leaders of a new galactic order. "The universe thought we were helpless," he said quietly. That was their mistake. Throughout the galaxy, former enemies became cautious allies. Trade routes opened between worlds that had never communicated. Knowledge and culture flowed freely for the first time in millennia. And on distant planets, When children asked about the beings who ended the Concorde's reign, they were told stories of humans, the species that refused to surrender, that fought when fighting seemed hopeless, and that chose mercy when victory was achieved. The universe had thought Earth helpless. Now they looked to humans for leadership, protection, and hope. The species that had almost been enslaved had instead become the guardians of freedom for all. As the Unity accelerated toward unexplored stars, Alex thought of all they had endured and all that lay ahead. "This is just the beginning," he said, watching the galaxy spread out before them. "Let's see what's out there."